Hey love, I'm your relationship coach, Jay Now. Welcome to Ish I Saw on TikTok. Today we're breaking down submission is a privilege, not a birthright. TikTok men are always talking about leadership and marriage, and the message is clear. Real leadership means serving your spouse, not demanding control. Submission isn't something owed, it's something earned through provision, protection, and mutual respect. And broken men are the ones trying to force it. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, hit that subscribe button, and join my exclusive coffee community for coaching prompts and interactive activities that will help you build stronger boundaries and healthier relationships.
I still feel though, as the man, I am the leader of my household. Right? But as the leader, that doesn't mean that I just tell everybody what to do. My first responsibility as the leader is to make sure everyone is okay. Right? So I have to be of service to my wife. You see what I'm saying? When you say things like that, I have to be of service to my wife. The trigger word for people is like, oh, he wants to serve his wife, he's a simp. And then you have all the detractors who call you a simp because you, as a leader, want to serve your wife, right? Then as a woman, if she says, no, I want to serve my husband, they tell her she's submissive, and you're setting women back. In our relationship, and it only works in ours because we've agreed to these power dynamics, I'm the man, I'm the head of the household, I lead. We both make a lot of money. I pay all the bills in the house.
Subtle flex.
Right, it's subtle flex. But because I did make a post, I said, I realized the greatest flex I could ever have is when my wife is kept, but she keeps making money. You see what I'm saying? As the leader, when we both make money, I take care of the family, I take care of our wealth planning, I take care of our legacy building. Whatever money she makes is hers. She can do whatever she wants to do with it. So is she really being submissive and being controlled? No, because she has the opportunity, if she wants to go somewhere else. But me being a leader and being in that position of power is giving her an opportunity to live in a life in a world with full autonomy. She don't have to depend on anybody else, not even me,
or desire anything from somebody.
So when she don't gotta live like that and she can just do whatever she wants, but she still wants to be my wife, that makes me feel good.
You want a submissive woman, you said, huh? Women submit to men who create an environment for that woman to be submissive. If you're not with the role or the mindset that you have to be the sole provider and protector and take care of that woman, and you carry that 100% with your actions and your words to follow, if you don't do that, you ain't gonna get your woman to be submissive. Even if she's naturally submissive, that's gonna last so long until she has to revert to being dominant. You gotta be a man and you gotta man up.
With your sense of entitlement out here screaming about submission. Let me explain something to you. Grown men do not even utter the word submit because they know that women are going to submit to them naturally. They don't have to ask for it. They don't have to come into a relationship expecting it because they know that women act like women around men. Why would she submit to you? What is she submitting to? The fact that you were born a man? The fact that you were born a penis? You pay no bills. You are no protector. You are no provider. You don't even have great conversation. She can't even learn from you, and you expect for her to kneel down, bow down, tap out, all because you were born a man? Submission is not a birthright. Submission is something that is earned. Submission is a privilege for somebody to say, you know what? I trust you enough to lead. I trust you enough to know that you are not going to crash this family out and make us die and burn. Submit to you, you bitch. Talking about you wish somebody submit and I'll be a better man if you submit. Grown men don't ask women to submit. Fucking bitch.
Only broke men want women to submit to them. Remember that. If they have that mentality, they broke. Because if you can't get a woman to naturally submit to you, you're stupid and you're broke. And you're not able to fulfill what a woman requires. So you're not man enough. So if you want a submissive woman, make sure she ain't got no complaints, ain't got no bills to be paid, and don't have to correct you or worry about whatever you're doing, and allows you, to say stuff because you are correct, and she ain't got to double check whatever you're doing. Okay? If you want submission, then make sure you are fitting the checklist, sir, Ben, whoever. If not, it's not gonna ever work for you unless you're trying to act like you're some type of alpha male. Then you need to hire an actress to act like she's a submissive woman, because that's all women ever going to do if she never really truly submits to you. It's just act. You want to pay an actress, then pay an actress, but she don't really mean it. And she probably dating other dudes behind your back, and she probably just doing what you need her to do to get that money, and then she right out and gone to the next. Okay, but real goddesses, they don't have to act. They will dismiss you and you will still love it. Hmm. Y'all, a lot of men will use, like I said, religion and point stuff out and say, oh, well, a man's supposed to lead. Well, lead with your wallet, sir. A woman is supposed to be your help me. Well, then hire you a woman maid, baby.
Too often, I think we as black men are looking for submission, failing to realize that it has to be earned, and also failing to realize that submission comes with conditions and responsibilities. A woman doesn't just submit to a man. She has to do so on the basis that you're going to be able to uphold your end of this bargain. I'm hearing men, because they message me, they text me, Doc, we hear you. But how are we ever going to be able to be men if she doesn't allow us to lead? And my answer to that, good brother, if you are leading the way you're supposed to, you won't have to ask her to submit. She will do it automatically because it is her nature to submit to her, to submit to you. The problem with black men is a lot of us are not strong enough emotionally, psychologically, spiritually. We're not strong enough to attract a woman's submission. Submission is a quality that all women have, but only certain men can unlock it.
Men want females to submit to them and be all for them and nobody else. Yet they fail to realize in order for a female to do this, he has to make her happy. When a woman is happy, she'll do anything her man asks of her, period.
Let's jump into my favorite part of all of the content I post on YouTube, and that's just my thoughts, where I get to kind of express what I feel about whatever we have read or gone over. So let's get into it. If you've spent any amount of time on social media, especially like TikTok, Instagram, etc., you have heard the word submission from these red pill incel passport bros ad nauseum, no doubt. But the problem is, a lot of times people say things, but they don't understand the definition of the words that they use. So I want to start by breaking that down. The definition of submission is the action or fact of accepting or yielding to a superior force or to the will or authority of another person. In this case, let's focus on to the will or authority of another person. You don't have to consider a person superior to you to grant them submission. And in fact, in the context that it's meant to be used is in a heterosexual relationship context, in biblical context, where we're talking about relationships. That's not what, you don't have to consider a person higher or better than you. The problem is the men who are usually spouting this rhetoric are not following the Bible. They are just shooting from the hip, using scripture to be manipulative and deceitful. And those men need to be instantly dismissed from your life. What the men who are always screaming submission mean is they want subservience. So what is subservience? Subservience is a willingness to obey others unquestioningly. Okay. They want to just be able to run a woman off a cliff, basically. And she doesn't question, she doesn't ask. The problem is with this mindset is that the men who are yelling about submission, they don't have anything that is useful, helpful, supportive, that a woman needs to be submissive to. These are men with trauma, unresolved trauma. These are men who want to cause harm to women. These are men who want to use women. These are men who generally are a net negative for a woman to deal with in every single aspect: financially, emotionally, spiritually, physically, psychologically, etc. That's another red flag in dating. And I want women to, as soon as a man says something about women being submissive, he's a red flag. Because the reality is this: when a woman feels safe, safety is the ultimate love language, and I will always believe that. When a woman feels safe with a man she is in any type of relationship with, in this context, I'm talking about romantic relationship, the submission that works for that dynamic is going to naturally come about, right? When she feels safe And meaning he's also shown consistency in his character and demonstrated certain characteristics, she is going to allow him to lead. The problem with the men who are always shouting submission is they don't have anything. They're not leaders. They've made consistently poor life decisions. They are spiritually broke. They are financially broke. They're physically not in good health. They are a mess, and they're looking to use a woman. They want to use her in every aspect of the word in order to stand on her back and neck to make themselves feel better. It's also an ego thing. These men who are usually yelling about submission, they cannot compete in the world with other men, so they want to bring harm to women. Stated or not stated, these men mean nothing but harm to a woman. So the clips that I showcased, to me, are men. A lot of them have a proper understanding of what the word means. It's not a right for a man to ask for submission from a woman when he has nothing positive or nothing that's going to be good for her to be submissive to. So red flag, don't deal with those men. And also, a lot of men who spout this rhetoric because of the information they digest believe just because they have a penis that a woman needs to be submissive to them. And here's a secret that men do not want women to realize. Men are naturally submissive. Women are not. Women are naturally nurturing, collaborative, and cooperative. It's very different than submission. And a lot of men take kindness, empathy, and all of those other things that allow women to more naturally be collaborative and cooperative. They want to take it for granted, and they want to use kindness for weakness. And that's why they're always trying to force women into this mold of submission, because men are very submissive to other men and their followers, as we can see from the content they consume, and how they have allowed a lot of it to rot their brains and destroy their lives. And that's why they cannot have healthy relationships. But back to my point. Submission is something that a woman, if she decides to be submissive with her partner, she needs to take great assessment and see if that man is worthy of her, allowing him to have that type of authority over her. It is a choice. It is an active decision. It is not something that in a healthy contest is something that you can, force or, dominate. That's not what that means. That's not healthy, and that is abusive. A lot of men also who are speaking about submission are abusive to their partners. Cheating is abuse, and I know people don't want to hear that. So they want to treat women badly. They want to treat women poorly because there's a sense of self they don't have. There's a confidence they don't have. They're very insecure. And many of them are very angry that women can provide for themselves in many senses of the word. So I just want you to understand submission is truly a privilege for the men who receive it, because it's about willingness. You need to be willing to submit to something. But that also means those men who understand the principle, the spiritual principle behind that, they understand that they may not be the leader in every single area of the relationship. So for instance, in a relationship, if if a man's wife or partner, if she's better at handling finances, he also has to have a healthy sense of ego and self-reflection and be able to check his ego to say, hey, she is better at handling this than me, and she's leading in that area of our home or in our relationships. It's not a one size fits all. It is something that he needs to be willing to understand and articulate, and where he can gain her trust and she feels she is safe in enough aspects to grant him that. So it is a privilege. It's not a right, just because, and a lot of men who have demonstrated no positive leadership qualities in their life think that they should just get a woman's submission because he has a penis. And that is not what it is. That is a very toxic and problematic mindset that is going to lead to the harm of a woman. So any man yelling about it, he can't earn it on his own. He can't stand on his own and have a woman desirous to be submissive to him in a healthy way. And submission also doesn't mean that there's not disagreement and that there's not compromise. It starts with him leading himself in a way where a woman thinks he has enough consistency, integrity, provision, protection, etc., where she can grant him the privilege of that. without being harmed. So understand when men are yelling about submission, those are the men who want subservience. They want a slave. And the men who actually get it and are leading within themselves and have the right sense of self, right spiritual connection, and they're right with their ego, that's going to naturally come about in their dynamics of a relationship. They don't have to ask for it. So let me know your thoughts below, because I always find this conversation very interesting. And I know some people have some very strong opinions on the word, and I respect that. So whether you agree or disagree, curious to hear what you have to say. Thanks for tuning in to Ish I Saw on TikTok. Submission is a privilege, not a birthright. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you're ready to take these insights beyond the screen, join my exclusive coffee community. That's where you'll get thoughtful coaching prompts, interactive activities, and real tools to help you set standards, build mutual respect, and create healthier relationships that actually work. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, the links are below. And don't forget to check out my podcast, The Successful Invisible, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Until next time, this is your relationship coach, Janelle, signing off and always rooting for your love story.